All right, today I wanted to talk about how customer success managers should be using business writing skills to excel their career and likely project them into a higher position later on. It also earns a lot of trust. It gets you in the rooms that you need to be in, so you're with the decision makers and you're actually being strategic. So number one, telling a story using data. You need to not just read the data off. You need to be able to tell a narrative with it. What is the data saying? So here's an example of that. Customer satisfaction scores have improved by 15% this quarter, driven by fast response times from our support team. You see the key part there is driven by, right? It gives an example of where that data is being impacted from. To go a step further, I really suggest you add a quarter over quarter, a month over month, heck, a year over year comparison so people understand, is this 15% increase expected this time of year? Is there more context to it? So adding those time comparisons are going to be really valuable. Number two is going to be tying your metrics to a business goal. So you need to understand what your customers' business goals are, or even what your internal business goals are that you've communicated to the customer, and then use those as a North Star. So being able to tie data into those goals is really the crux of the entire relationship you have as a customer success manager. I have an example written down for you, so let me read that now. Churn reduction by 3% added approximately $100,000 in ARR, aligning with our Q4 growth target. ARR just means annual recurring revenue. This is really where the strategic relationship comes in, is when you're constantly using those business goals that you've aligned on them with, and then bringing them up in all of your meetings and your reporting, so we understand, okay, this metric isn't for nothing. Number three is going to be structure your writing like a business case. I really suggest you use the pyramid principle in order to do this. So that would be starting with your conclusion, providing data to support that conclusion, and then finally evidence, as in where did this data come from? And I like to provide that in the form of a visual aid. So whether it be like a heat map or a graph, or maybe customer testimonials, these are things that are going to help give the evidence that your data is valid. Number four is going to be understand financial metrics. So very important here is to understand, what is a P&L? What are operational costs? What are the net profits? These are all really key metrics that you need to understand. They get you, again, in the room where the decision makers are. I wrote down an example of how you would use these financial terms in a either written or verbal communication to either your client or maybe internally to your team. Streamlining onboarding processes could reduce time to value by 20%, potentially accelerating revenue recognition for new clients. You hear how that sounds? It says, I understand the bottom line. This is what my recommendation is, and it does impact the bottom line. Number five is going to be using business-friendly visuals. So you heard me before mention graphs, but more specifically, let's talk about bar graphs, line graphs, heat maps. These things are really going to help present your data professionally. It's going to make it easy to digest, and it's going to give you something for them to look at and visualize while you are communicating your research, your conclusions, and your recommendations. So it gives you a lot of supporting evidence. And just as a bonus tip, I think it's just really important in a general scheme, you'll be able to get these skills down if you just practice and understand financial and operational literacy. So being able to do the research, gather the data, make conclusions is one thing, but if you can't understand the terms used in financial rooms, in operational situations, you're really not going to be able to get your point across. And someone's going to have to rewrite your findings and potentially take credit for it because you couldn't communicate it to a point where a high up level person was able to use your work to make an informed decision. I hope this helped. If you want more tips on how to become a great customer success manager, or if you're a business owner looking to explore customer success and how it can impact your business, reach out to me at Huckleberry Consulting, or getcsm.com. We provide amazing customer success managers, or we provide amazing training to enroll customer success managers. We pretty much do everything customer success, and we are your one-stop shop for it.